There's a hen in your run right now, and the second you walk through that gate, she does something most keepers never notice. She changes her calls. And here's a part that'll stop you cold. Scientists actually decoded what those calls mean. In a landmark study published in the journal Animal Behavior, researchers Chris Evans, Linda Evans, and Peter Mahler proved that chickens produce functionally referential alarm calls, meaning their calls aren't just noise, they're specific labels. One call for a predator coming from the air, a completely different call for a threat on the ground. And when other chickens hear that call, they react correctly, crouching and looking up for the aerial call, standing tall and scanning the ground for the ground call, even when they can't see the danger themselves. In plain English, your flock has a vocabulary, and a huge part of that vocabulary is built around one thing, threat assessment. They are constantly broadcasting how safe or how dangerous their world is. And a 2021 study in animal cognition by Juter and Daniel showed free-range chickens even eavesdrop on wild bird alarm calls and go on alert. These birds are wired, down to the neuron, to detect danger and announce it. So here's the uncomfortable truth. There are at least 7 things you are doing in your own coop and run right now, every single day, that your flock is reacting to. Things that are quietly stressing your birds, crashing your egg production, and in some cases, killing them. And the science behind every one of these is published, peer-reviewed, and ironclad. Tonight we count them down, from number 7, the one most people shrug off, all the way to number 1, the silent killer that can wipe out everything you built. By the time we hit that last one, you will never look at your flock the same way again. If you're the kind of farmer who actually wants to get this right, you'll probably want to stick around on this channel. We do this kind of deep dive every week. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Let's start the countdown. Number 7. The color you wear changes how your whole flock reacts to you. Sound crazy? Stay with me. Chickens are tetrachromatic. Research on poultry vision confirms they see red, green, and blue plus ultraviolet light, which means colors are more vivid and saturated to a hen than they could ever be to you. And here's the kicker. In poultry science, red light is documented to stimulate aggression, feather pecking, and cannibalism. Red is a color of blood and exposed flesh, and a flock will attack a bird showing a red spot. That's literally how pecking outbreaks start. So when you stride in wearing a bright red jacket and start grabbing birds, you're not a calm caretaker. You're a high-alert stimulus. And stressed birds lay fewer eggs. The fix? Soft, muted colors, tans, greens, dull blues, and wear the same outfit when you can. Chickens trust routine, and a predictable keeper is a calm keeper. A small mistake. But number 6 costs you something you actually count. Eggs. Number 6. Your noise and chaos are stressing your layers into a slump. Chickens are creatures of rhythm, and stress is a direct enemy of egg production. A blaring radio, a dog charging a run, a slamming door, kids chasing the flock. Everyone registers as a predator-level threat. And remember those decoded alarm calls? A predator scare, even one that catches nothing, can trigger the whole alarm cascade and shut down laying across the flock for days. The sneaky one nobody thinks about is inconsistency. Feeding at random times, chores at 6 a.m. one day and noon the next, constantly rearranging the coop. Chaos keeps cortisol up and eggs down. The fix? Keep things calm and predictable. Same chore times. Move slowly. Talk to your birds so they always hear you coming. A settled flock is a productive flock, but noise is just the surface. Number 5 comes down to how you move, and you've probably been doing it wrong since day 1. Number 5. The way you move is being read like a book. Go back to that animal behavior research. The aerial alarm call, the one that makes hens crouch and flee for cover, is triggered by something moving overhead. Now think about what you do every time you reach down from above to grab a hen. To her brain, a shape descending from the sky is a hawk striking. Every single time. So when you lunge, chase, or snatch birds from overhead, you're triggering their deepest, hardwired predator response. A flock that fears your hands never fully relaxes and never fully produces. The fix takes practice, but it's powerful. Move slowly and predictably. Approach from the side at their level. Never loom over the top. Talk softly. And when you need to pick one up, do it calmly at dusk on the roost when they're naturally docile. Here's the beautiful part. Chickens absolutely bond with a keeper who moves like a friend instead of predator. They'll come running, eat from your hand, follow you around, and a relaxed flock lays better, lives longer, and is far easier to manage. So far, what you wear, your noise, how you move. But number 4 is where real money starts leaking out of your coop. Number 4. Your lighting is silently shutting down your egg machine. This is one most beginners learn too late. A hen's egg production is controlled by light hitting photoreceptors, not just in her eyes, but directly through her thin skull into her brain. Michigan State University Extension and multiple university sources confirm the numbers precisely. Hens start laying around 14 hours of daylight and hit maximum production at about 16 hours. Drop below 14 and her reproductive system shuts down. That's why your birds quit in November while you stand there buying store eggs. But here's a mistake on the other side, and it's serious. Slap on a harsh light that snaps on and off suddenly, and birds get trapped off the roost in a panic. Weiss, research in the University of Maine Extension both confirmed that pushing past 16 to 17 hours actually depresses production, and constant light triggers stress, feather pecking, and even prolapse in young pullets. The fix? Straight from Extension guidelines. Add soft light in the morning on a timer to reach 14 to 16 hours, so they still get a natural sunset to find a roost. Increase it gradually, just 15 to 30 minutes a week. Several hours of true darkness every night. Always. Get it right, and you keep eggs flowing through winter without burning out your flock. Now we hit the top 3, and these aren't about comfort anymore. These are the ones that get chickens sick and killed. Number 3 is the one your good intentions are causing. Number 3. You're feeding them wrong and wrecking your flock from the inside. This one stings because it comes from people who love their birds. Scratch grain and corn are the biggest culprits. Keepers dump them in thinking they are being generous, but scratch is candy. Low protein. Fills birds up so they stop eating their balanced feed. Protein crashes. Shells thin. Laying drops. The rule: treats stay under 10% of the diet. The other 90% must be a proper layer feed at 16 to 18% protein. And some treats are flat out toxic. Avocado contains persin. Raw or dried beans contain a compound that can kill them. Then there's a silent killer, too little calcium. Without free choice oyster shell, hens pull calcium straight from their own bones to build eggshells, leaving you with soft eggs and brittle, fracturing birds. Poultry lighting research even confirms most of the shell's calcium needs to come from the diet, not her skeleton. The fix: quality layer feed as a base, oyster shell always on the side, grit for digestion. Treats capped at 10%. Do this and you'll see firmer shells and steadier laying within weeks. But bad feeding is slow damage. Number 2 can take out your whole flock in days. Number 2, dirty feeders and waterers are breeding grounds of disease. A green-filmed waterer, droppings in feed, a damp corner of moldy grain. These are exactly how outbreaks ignite. Coccidiosis, the number 1 killer of young chicks, spreads through droppings and contaminated water and bedding. Moldy feed grows toxins that destroy the liver. Stagnant water breeds bacteria that can drop a whole flock fast. And the mistake even experienced keepers make: tossing new birds straight in with the flock. New arrivals can carry diseases your existing birds have zero defense against. One unquarantined hen can infect everyone. But here's the data point that should change how you think about your whole coop. That parasite you can't see may already be in there. The poultry red mite, Dermanisis galeni, is described in Parasite and Vectors as the most damaging parasite of laying hens worldwide, present on up to 94% of farms in some countries. It hides in cracks by day, feeds on your bird's blood at night, and a single hen can lose over 3% of her blood volume every single night. Studies document 15 to 20% drops in laying, severe anemia, and in heavy infestations, death, with one Romanian farm reporting a 10-fold spike in mortality. And it spread salmonella and foul diseases on top of it. The fix: clean and refill waters daily. Scrub. Don't just top off. Keep feeders covered and off the ground. Toss any feed that smells off. Quarantine new birds 2 to 4 weeks. And check your cracks, perches, and crevices for red mites constantly, because they breed in as little as a week and can starve, waiting for over a year. By the way, if you've been finding this useful, this is exactly what Livestock Labs is about. Real science, practical fixes, no fluff. If you're not subscribed yet, now's a good time. There's a lot more like this coming. Which brings us to number 1. The big one. The mistake that can silently destroy your whole flock while you're standing right there, completely unaware. Number 1. Your coop air is poisoning your birds, and you can't even smell it anymore. Walk into your coop and feel your eyes sting? Catch that sharp, acrid smell? Stop. That's ammonia, and it's a chemical attack on your bird's lungs. Here's the hard science, and the numbers are exact. The University of Georgia's poultry program states ammonia must stay below 25 ppm. Above that, you get respiratory disease, lower egg production, poor feed efficiency, and rising mortality. A controlled study in the journal Animal found that at just 25 ppm, broilers suffered lung hemorrhage, inflammation, and disrupted lung microbes, and at 35 ppm the damage was severe. And the cruelest part? Your birds breathe it 24 hours a day at floor level, far more concentrated than what reaches your nose standing up. You walk in and out. They live in it. The other half of this killer is ventilation. Keepers seal coops tight in winter to keep birds warm and trap moisture, ammonia, and stale air inside. That trapped humidity, not the cold, is what causes frostbite, freezing cones, and wattles far faster than dry, moving air ever could. And don't forget the opposite extreme. A 2020 study in Frontos in Veterinary Science found that an acute spike in heat and humidity killed up to 100% of laying hens within hours, and a meta-analysis of 131 studies confirmed egg production, shell strength, and feed intake all crash hard above 30 degrees Celsius, with real losses starting as low as 24 degrees. Air quality and air temperature aren't comfort issues. They are life and death. The fix: keep bedding dry and deep, spot clean wet patches, full clean-outs on schedule. Ventilate up high, above the roosts, so ammonia and moisture escape without blasting a draft on sleeping birds. In summer, prioritize shade, airflow, and cool water. Dry, fresh, moving air at a safe temperature is the single biggest factor in a healthy flock, and the difference between a coop that keeps birds thriving and one that's quietly killing them. That's why it's number 1. So here's the truth. Your chickens can't speak, but science has decoded that they are signaling constantly in referential alarm calls and posture and behavior that researchers have measured and published for over 30 years. They are telling you, in the only language they have, give me clean air, keep my food and water safe, feed me right, get my light correct, move calmly, keep me unstressed, and lose the red jacket. Most people won't change a thing, but the few who do, within weeks you'll see it. Calmer birds, firmer shells, fuller nesting boxes, and a flock that runs to greet you. That relationship is on offer if you're willing to listen. So tell me in the comments, which of these 7 were you doing without realizing it was hurting your flock, and which one are you fixing this week? I read every single one. And if this opened your eyes, hit like, subscribe to Livestock Labs, and turn on notifications, because we break down the real, peer-reviewed science of raising healthy, productive chickens that almost nobody else is talking about. The next video might be the one that saves your flock. Don't miss it. I'll see you there.